Hi, this is Bill Spatrino. This is the week of March 14th that we're doing the Truth Machine. This is kind of a special edition um, about all this fear, talking about the stock market. Clearly, political sports kind of takes a back seat to this. We'll be talking about the stock market and the political. First of all, it looks like it's going to be Biden and Trump. Um, there's a lot of rumors coming in about Hillary, coming in about Michelle Obama. Folks, first of all, I was fortunate enough to talk to somebody who knows, they know a person who's very close with the Obamas. They told me, and again, I take things for what they're worth. This is the Truth Machine. What you get is the unfiltered truth. There's no advertisements. Me and my producer, Michael Stifler, we have no agenda other than to keep the American people, and we have people listening to this all over the world, we keep them informed. Okay, there is so much fake news out there. And in fact, we're going to be giving you a lot of statistics in this because in my world of investing, you have to be right. Okay, if you're right, you base things based on numbers. When I pick a stock, it's based on 20 or 30 parameters that the stock has to go through and hoops that the stock has to go through. Even so, the stock market can take a stock down that is well intentioned and has nothing to do with this. Okay, as we'll explain later in the podcast, what my interpretation, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the systems I use for investing and apply it towards sports, apply it towards politics, and tie it towards the stock market. The reason I was the first major media to predict our great president, Donald Trump, is because it's what I do for a living. I predict the future. And I said in 2010, if you Google Bill Spatrino, Donald Trump, you'll read the article where I said if Trump wants to run for president, he will win. And that he will China and Russia will, he'll be able to negotiate with them. Is exactly what he's done. Okay. And I said that in 2010, not 2014 or 15 or 18. So, and what I'm saying is, I use this to say things. It's clearly Biden has become the nominee. I did say that Bernie Sanders was the favorite. I thought he had a good chance to get it, and he had a good chance to get it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you're looking at it, the Democrats got so scared of Bernie Sanders, and that's why the stock market started selling off the week before. It had nothing to do with the virus. It had to do with Bernie Sanders. What happened is the Democrats decided to coalesce around Biden. Okay, Klobuchar got out of the race. Mayor Pete got out of the race, and they both endorsed him. And he even had Beto come up and meet with him at a rally. And they basically, what happened is all of Amy and Pete's people came for Biden. Okay, and they ended up winning states that he would, if Amy stays in the race, there's no way that Biden wins Minnesota. Okay, clearly wouldn't have won. Okay, as it is, with her votes, he only won by, I think, 6%. Now, I do think Biden would have won in the South, but I don't think he wins Texas. Take what Pete and Amy used to get and add those to Biden. That's what ended up happening. I'm not saying they cheated in any way. It's just Biden would not have done it on his own. If you also, someone said, Billy, you said Sanders. I also said did not count Biden out. I said people that, and then if you look at the Truth Machine back, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said Biden, everyone else was writing him off. I said no. I said South Carolina is what's going to decide this, how bad he beat him, and what Biden did. See, as they wanted this to be Bloomberg. Okay, the establishment was going to throw all their effort behind Bloomberg. But Bloomberg, like I said, he was Thurston Howell III. He was tone deaf. Okay. Remember when they handed Thurston his shovel and he's like, "Ye God lovey. What do I do with this?" Bloomberg just didn't know. And he didn't understand what was going to go on. And he spent a lot of money, and like they're fixing this thing where Bloomberg and the fake Indian got out of the race. And you're going to be able, like if you voted for them in early voting in Michigan, you're going to be able to pull your votes back. Well, all the people that voted for Bloomberg, Mayor Pete or Amy Klobuchar, are going to pull their votes back. And they're going to vote for Biden. So they ganged up on Bernie. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for us, but unfortunately for Biden, Bernie's not going away. Okay. Bernie, while he doesn't slam Biden, talks about the Iraq war, talks about, how Biden has constantly made a lot of mistakes and policy. And, I really don't believe the people that think that somehow Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton are going to be brought into the race. If they do that, and I'm not saying they might not think about it, they can bring Bloomberg in at a contested convention, provided Biden doesn't get all the delegates. He should get the delegates now, with everybody throwing their weight behind him. But if they try to replace Biden, let's say they say he's sick, you got to replace him with Bernie. Okay, they're not going to be able. Bernie's people will not vote if they bring in another person like Hillary Clinton, okay, or Mike Bloomberg. Not going to happen. I'm saying it could happen. Let's say Biden does go get sick. I mean, the other day he came and told the guy that he was full of it and started up with a union worker. Well, I got news for you. Words of that get out, okay? Biden needs Michigan to win this election, okay? I mean, if the Democrats don't win Michigan, they will lose the election. The Republicans can lose Michigan and still win. The Democrats cannot lose Pennsylvania or Michigan, just like the Republicans really can't lose Florida or Ohio, okay, or Texas. And, word of that gets out. I mean, the NRA had that all over their website, and it's going to be all over the website, okay? Biden's temperament is not going to make it, but I do think he's going to be the nominee. I mean, I've had friends of mine say, there was a guy named Jeff Gundlach who's a famous bond king, and he doesn't think that Biden has the capacity to do it. Folks, the Democratic Party's desperate, okay? That's what this whole media rush on the coronavirus is. They're trying to trip up our president, okay? Last week, you had a jobs report, and it was fantastic. Not only was there 260,000 new jobs, every month they update the figures, either high or low. There was another 90,000 jobs that they underreported. So there's really 350,000 new jobs that came through over a period. I mean, that's enormous, okay? That's enormous. And it's not something that you have to worry about, okay? It's our president knows what he's doing, okay? And he's handled this coronavirus from the beginning by not letting all these people. I talked to a very connected political operative, I'm not naming him, today. And he told me privately, he said, the president, he calls him the boss, he said, the boss was on this. He said, Italy didn't have travel restrictions, and they got all these people infected. My ancestors. Although if my ancestors were seeing how they were handling the country, they would be scared. They would think it was pathetic. But we'll get into that at another time. But he said, not letting these people in. I mean, really, our cases, and the cases are going to go up, folks. But the fatality rate, and we'll talk more about straight numbers in just a second. I don't want to bore people. I could give you 25 minutes of numbers. I'm a numbers person. But I'm going to give you, those of you who are used to listening to my investment podcast, I make investing entertaining. Okay? That's the trick to me. I was at a Spatrino Fair doing a seminar a week ago in Las Vegas. And by the way, we went through the airport. There was nobody with masks. We were in all the casinos. It was wall-to-wall people, okay? We saw the band Chicago. We went to countless restaurants, probably 8 casinos, and didn't see any. There was no. If there was the only thing that I heard from talking to the pit bosses that I know is they told me that the high roller Asians, a lot of them were not there, and it's because of from China because of the travel restrictions that were put in by our president, I might add. But so this whole thing, with the stock market dropped the week before, not because of the coronavirus, because of Bernie Sanders, and it dropped this past week because Saudi Arabia and Russia started fighting over oil. See, they want to kill our oil industry off because we're producing our own oil, okay? And they decided to get into a contest and lower rates because they know $40, $30 oil hurts the people in the Balkans, and that's a big thing for our president with the jobs. Those jobs in the oil industry pay $150,000 a year, okay? And they're very important in states like Pennsylvania and Texas where they do a lot of fracking. I don't feel that, the market, you're going to have ups and downs, okay? And until that gets straightened out, there's working on some different rules to try to cause that. And the president has been ahead of again, he goes on the TV the other day, talks about some proposals, keeps throwing them out there, and that screws up these algorithms that buy and sell the market. They see good news, they get scared, and everybody follows, okay? If you're a long-term investor, just leave this be. This is a good time to buy stocks, not sell them. This is imagined fear. And someone said to me, Billy, why aren't you scared of this virus? And then people telling me, Billy, I told you about this. Look, the big media is all about ratings, okay? They look at it as if it bleeds, it leads. And if it hurts our president, it goes number one, okay? The problem is they're in campaign mode. They're trying to drag Joe Biden's carcass across the finish line. Okay, stoking fear over quarantines, supply chain disruptions. The real reason the market's dropped is the oil and Bernie. Okay, and Italy's prime minister you don't shut the country down. You do what our president did the other day. You go to coronavirus.org, you set up any thing. People need to be washing our hands. Okay? They need to be, we have 3.5% unemployment. Okay? And at the time I looked at this, there's, 100 and some thousand cases worldwide. There's like 4,000 plus deaths. And, like 65% of the people have recovered. Okay. And I think it's 20 some people in the United States have died. Most of them in a nursing home. Okay. The cases in mainland China have basically peaked. Okay. They've added a few cases, but it's slow. And the cases elsewhere are rising, okay? And recoveries are coming even faster, okay? Anthony Fauci, okay, he's the MD of the National Institute of Health, okay? He's in the task force. This is what he wrote to the New England Journal of Medicine, okay? This is a doctor talking, not some fool, okay? The median age of the patients were 59 years old, with higher morbidity and mortality among the elderly and those with coexisting conditions, similar to the situation with influenza. The overall clinical consequences of COVID-19 may ultimately be more akin to those of a severe seasonal influenza. So, in other words, the coronavirus is like a nastier version of a flu, okay? which is potentially fatal for elderly people and infirm people. I get that. People say to me, Billy, don't you care? I care. Do you know how many people died of influenza and pneumonia in 2017? 55,672. That's basically 153 people a day. We haven't even had 153 people die in this country yet. Okay? And in pneumonia, the last numbers that I seen from 2017, the numbers I saw from the CDC on their website was 55,672. I divided it by 365 because I'm a math person, and I got 153 people a day. Okay. That's what people do, okay, from the flu. Over the past decade, okay, these are the statistics right off their website. I did the math for you guys. Influenza has affected between 9.3 and 45 million people each year, depending on the flu severity. Hospitalizations for the flu have ranged from 140,000 to 800,000 per year, and the deaths vary between 12 and 61,000 people. Okay, so those numbers, it's roughly, if you go on the highest number, it's about 0.5% to 1%. Okay, 0.1% of people that die. And these numbers are all going to change. Okay, some person was pushing this 3.4% mortality rate. That's nonsense. Okay. You know, the WHO, okay, which they all want, they want Trump out. Russia wants Trump out. Saudi Arabia wants Trump out. China wants him out. The Democrats want him out. The media wants him out. Most of the Republicans secretly want him out. Okay? You know, people are trying to keep him. The best estimates for this disease came from the Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary, Admiral Brent Gurr. He said the best estimates for the mortality rate for 0.1 for COVID-19 is somewhere between 0.1% and 1%, not 3%. The fatality rate for the seasonal flu is 0.1%. So coronavirus is slightly worse than the flu. But it's not, again, like the fatality rate for MERS, MERS, and SARS were 34.4% and 9.5%. Okay, swine flu, which happened on Obama's watch, there were over 60 million cases in the United States and over 12,000 deaths. And see, what I want to say, and this is what I want you to say to the other liberals, where is all the vitriol and complaints that have been hurled about Trump? Hurled at Obama. Okay. You didn't have it because the media covered it up. Okay. Another number they don't talk about is the amount of per cases per capita. The United States rate is obviously far lower than China, South Korea, and Japan. But it's also lower than Italy, France, Germany, and Spain. See, President Trump's actions, contrary to what the media says, are keeping the numbers down. Okay. I mean, 1,641 people in this country every day die of cancer. 466 die of accidents. Strokes kill 401 people. Okay. Per day. 31 people die every day are struck by lightning. Okay. I'm sorry, 31 people die every year. More people will die from lightning than have died from the corona disease. Okay, and I haven't heard anybody talking about lightning. Okay, 250 to 400,000. What I'm trying to say, 400,000 die from medical error. Okay. All I'm trying to say is that this phobia is done for one reason, and that's to push down this president. However, if you're a long-term investor, This market, you're going to have ups and downs, but long term, if you buy our stocks, Mo, which is MO, Altria, Viacom, VIAC, the reason that stock's way down, people have asked me, Billy, why is that stock way down? It's down because there's a rumor the Final Four and the Masters are going to get canceled. Okay, folks, I just don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe sports events are going to be canceled. They will tell older people at risk not to go. LeBron James said it. I'm not playing in a game that's not going to have fans. I'm not playing. Okay. These people want the fans. Yes, in Ohio, my daughter's colleges, they're talking about Ohio State, and Kent State. A lot of the schools are closing. They're doing the classes online. That's fine. And they will do things like that. Things like that are going to continue. But continue to wash your hands. Continue to... I saw the percentage of people, and I don't even want to talk about this, they don't wipe their hands after they use the bathroom, and we won't talk anymore about it. Okay? You can look up the statistics yourself. It's not pretty. Okay, folks, just continue to put your money, live your life. Now, if you have older parents or grandparents that are at risk, then you're not going to, I don't think they should be going to the Final Four. People ask me, should they go? I don't think that they should go just for the heck of it. If their grandson's playing, then they should go. That's how I feel. Just take precautions. Wash your hands. Go to coronavirus.gov and look, go in there and get and follow the program. Okay. I just don't, when I do these podcasts, I just want to make sure. I've been arguing with a lot of my friends because they think I don't care. I care deeply about the American people. But like I said, I just went to Vegas and I shook hands with people. Now, to be fair, everyone laughed at me. I was washing my hands constantly. I probably washed my hands 15 times a day. Okay. If I touched a machine, like a poker machine, I used wipes. I didn't put my hands on it. Okay. I wiped the machine down. But you just got to use your head. My dad's 80 years old. When I asked him about going, he laughed. He said, no virus is going to stop me. He went. He ate a lot of pizza. Those are people that go on my Facebook page. You can see how much pizza he ate. He ate at the buffets. He ate a lot of desserts. He walked 20 some miles when we were in Vegas. Okay. He loves it there. And we had a lot of fun. And I'm not kidding you, we came in contact with a couple 100,000. To be fair, maybe 10,000 people total. And my dad, you're not going to get him to stay in the house. Okay, just not going to. You got to treat this. You're at risk with this. Now, if you're younger, then you're not at risk at all. I don't feel worried at all about getting this. Okay, my daughter's age and her boyfriend and the kids, they don't. If you have children, I wouldn't worry about it. I really wouldn't. But just take your natural precautions, the same you take for the flu. Okay, we're going to get our president in. Don't worry about it. He's a great man. He's handled this crisis like a pro and like the professional he is. And if we can get him reelected and we have 5 more years of him, we'll have a lot of peace and a lot of prosperity and a lot of production. And that's what this country is all about. So from behind the wheel of the Truth Machine, this is Bill Spatrino asking you to sit back and enjoy the ride.